Hi, this is Richard Chamberlain. Welcome back to the Protecting Your Family's Future podcast. This is episode number 122. Today, we're going to be answering the question, if I get new assets, do I need to update my trust? We sometimes get this question as we are talking with clients about creating a trust, or if we're talking about updating an existing trust. They have assets and they're concerned that if they for example, buy a new house and sell their old house, they might need to come in and update their trust document to reflect that change. Or if they have bank accounts at a particular bank and they close those accounts and open new accounts at a different bank, do they need to come in and update their trust document? The answer to that question is usually not. And here's why it's usually not. In the trust, there is generally not a listing of the assets that are owned by that trust. Now, there is sometimes some confusion about people who say assets in a trust and assets owned by a trust. And if you have that confusion, you might go back and listen to episode number 104, where we talked about the difference between assets in a trust and assets owned by a trust. Generally, the assets should be owned by the trust, and they are not listed in the actual trust document. So if you have a house and you want to sell that house, your existing house is not listed in the trust document as a trust asset. The county records show that your house is owned by your trust. So you simply sell that house as trustee of the trust. You purchase a new house if you want, and then you can put that new house, have it owned by the trust by recording a new deed showing that you own it as trustee. So it's owned by your trust, it's not in your trust. So if you sell that existing house, you don't need to change the trust document to show that the assets are different, because the trust doesn't list the trust assets in the first place. So you don't need to show any changes. Now, I said at the beginning, generally not. You don't need to change the trust if you change your assets. The only time you would need to do that is if you actually do have assets specifically listed in the trust. And that might be in the circumstance of you giving a particular asset to a particular person. Sometimes we might have clients who want to give this particular piece of real estate, this house, for example, to a particular beneficiary. So in the trust, they will make a specific distribution of the house located at 123 Main Street to a particular beneficiary. Now, if they own 123 Main Street when they pass away, there's no problem. The problem can arise, though, if before they pass away, 123 Main Street is sold. Now, the trust says to give that piece of property to that beneficiary, but the trust no longer owns that asset. So the trustee cannot give the asset to that beneficiary. So in that case, you might want to update your trust to say that a different asset, a different house would be given to that beneficiary. Let's say you have 123 Main Street and you sell it, and now you buy 456 Main Street, and you would like that house to be given to that beneficiary or a different beneficiary. So in that case, you would update your trust to delete the prior gift and make the new gift in the updated trust agreement. So I hope that's helpful for you today. You understand the difference between assets that are listed in a trust, assets that are owned by a trust, and when you might need to update your trust agreement as your assets change. If you have any questions about your own estate planning, or if you'd like help in setting yours up, if you are in Ohio or in Michigan, we can help you. Feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is in the show notes. And we'll see you again next week. Thanks.